The two teams are now making their entrance here at the Rare Breed Meat Co Stadium, led by the officials. And I shall go through the starting lineups for this game. Starting with the visitors, Bath City, unchanged starting 11 from last week's win at Weymouth. 4-3-3, in goal Ollie Wright, a back four of Joe Rains, Jack Batten, Jordan Dyer and Kieran Parcell. Midfield three of Dan Hayfield making his 50th league start, Tom Smith and Luke Russ. And then an attacking three of Ewan Clark, Scott Wilson and Jordan Thomas. On the bench of our City, Dan Greenslade, Cody Cook, Elliot Freer, Chris Lines and Ben Morgan. Braintree, 4 changes from last week's win over Brackley. The key one in goal, where Josh Blunkle makes his debut. A back four of Leon Davis, Ben Tompkins, Joe Grimwood and Matt Carson. Midfield three of Reggie Lamb, Ben Watt and Alfie Payne, turns 24 today. And a front three of Aaron Blair, who is now signed on permanently from Dagenham and Redbridge, Will Davis and Tom Blackwell. Substitutes at Braintree this afternoon, Gio Critchlow, John White, Toby Stevenson, Ben Mason and George Quantrell. Today's officials, the referee is Josh Crofts. He'll be assisted by Lucas Wood and Jeffrey Alders, or Dr. Jeffrey Alders, who is a university professor. Keeping an eye on proceedings as Bath City getting ready to get the game underway. Fans taking their position behind the goals to support their teams. And we are underway. Smith goes back to Russ, sends it over to the right side. He's asking too much of Clark, and it's seen behind from Matt Carson. Grimwood hops up into the air, only to Hayfield, but he's dispossessed from Ben Watt. Back into the team. He's not featured too regularly since arriving on loan. Now with Lamb on the right-hand side. Bermudan international. Over to Blair now, further ahead of him. Faces up Parcell, trying to get out wide. And sends in a ball. He's only just gone over the top. I think it was an intended cross of Blackwell at the far post. Grimwood to Carson. Payne over the top. It's a good ball actually, which Blair's going to get onto near the edge of the box. Cried out. He's gone to the right hand side now with Lamb, and his shot is wayward, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Clark's gone on the right hand side. 0-0 here, approaching the 7-minute mark. He's dispossessed. It's now with Will Davis. Turns away well from Russ. He's got an overlapping run on the right hand side, but Will Davis shoots, and it's too close to Ollie Wright. Lamb back to Watt. Looks for a crossfield ball. It's a glorious ball, straight for Blair. Perfectly placed. He's now going to run at Rains inside the area. Blair trying to make room for a shot, and it's blocked in the end from Batten. What a ball that was from Watt, and it's given away now in midfield. Thomas turns inside of Watt, who'd made that pass, but he was fouled. In doing so, he was held. The referee tried to play an advantage, so one wasn't coming. Bath City win a free kick. Carson's ball only finds Clark on halfway. Rains turns, gives it back to Batten in the corner of the penalty area. Dinks one up for Wilson, who touches it back to Smith, who is clobbered really in midfield from Payne. And he gets a yellow card in the 12th minute. Alfie Payne, who's probably got plenty of birthday cards today, and I got a yellow one to add to that, and Smith has stayed down for City to play with an unchanged 11 from that victory, as Batten's ball is a crossfield one, looking for Dyer, who does win the header, ahead of Will Davis, headed away. Now to Thomas, he's snuffed out. Thomas is going to get booked for that, surely. He's pulled the arm of Reggie Lamb, and a yellow card shown a few moments ago to Payne. And Thomas is going to receive similar punishment from the way he's shaping it up. I think he's going to hoist this into the 6-yard box, which he does. It's a very high delivery. Wright has completely missed it, and Hayfield has had a cover. Very unusual, Ollie Wright. He's usually so commanding in his penalty area. He sort of slipped through his hands, I think. I didn't think there was a foul, as Clark's got it now. Midway inside the City half, finds Parcell in room on the left-hand side, approaching halfway, trying to shrug off Lamb, and Lamb brings him down for a Bath City free kick. Good chance to send some nerves in this home back line. And the debutant goalkeeper, Thomas, takes it, whips it in with his left foot. It's met on the far side from Dyer, but not fully. Smith gets it on the edge of the box. Smith with a left-footed shot is blocked in the penalty area well from 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗚𝗛𝗧𝗦, and now Braintree can look to break with 𝗛𝗚𝗚 at the moment. 𝗛𝗚 City are doing well to get numbers back because Braintree man is completely outnumbered, but 𝗛𝗚𝗚 steps inside of 2 and tries to play it in behind. 𝗛𝗚 City did so well there. The organisation was exceptionally good as one over the top now for Wilson. The ball holds up a little bit and 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗚𝗚 does well to nod it away. He had to, he's outside his penalty area, only to 𝗛𝗚𝗏field. Game's opening up a little bit. Now 𝗛𝗚𝗏 trying to find some space for the first time this afternoon, looking to get past Carson. Sends in a ball to the near post. Smith with a flicked header. It's gone wide of goals. Thomas has kept in, bounced into the ground again. Smith, header bounced up really heavily in front of him, and as a result, he's put it probably around 12 yards wide. He had no chance really of bringing it down. Shrugs off Wilson and tried to find Blackwell on the right, and Rains got there first. Now 𝗛𝗏 steps over the ball, and terrific footwork from 𝗛𝗏, and he's pulled down from Payne. He's got in trouble. That was a rather senseless foul. He's already on a yellow, Alfie Payne. As City will restart with this throw. Now, before they do that, Braintree are going to make their first change, and they're not going to take any risks. They're going to withdraw Alfie Payne, who's on a yellow, and is perhaps close to getting a red. So this is in the 27th minute. Humid up to 𝗛𝗏, just past halfway to Smith. Keeps it in play well on the right-hand side, looking for options in front of him. Smith sends in a ball to 𝗛𝗏field with a header. Oh, good save from 𝗛𝗏𝗛𝗏. It looked like it was just creeping underneath his crossbar, and 𝗛𝗏𝗛𝗏, the ball was almost behind him. It was a great header from 𝗛𝗏field, must have been around 15 yards or so out, and the goalkeeper on debut does well to bat it behind for a corner. Now inside the opening half hour, 0-0. Thomas driven one towards the far post, headed away though to 𝗛𝗏 near the edge of the box. 𝗛𝗏 volley, Battens then sort of plays it behind his own shoulder, and it goes harmlessly wide. In the County Cup last week, and we lost out in the FA Cup, Smith wins the ball from Leon Davis in midfield, striding forward purposefully. Now Wilson on the right-hand side. 𝗛𝗏field's made a run forward as well. Wilson, he shoots all the way across the face of goal, and it goes harmlessly wide for a goal kick. Lengthy throw, headed away from Parcell near the edge of the box. Leon Davis shot through a crowd of bodies, and it goes wide. Goal kick. Braintree on the ball again with Will Davis on halfway, runs straight into Batman Russ. Russ wins a header well though against Watt. Now Smith with a ball to the right to 𝗛𝗏, who's held and pulled down from Carson, who's going to receive a caution. Caution for Carson in the 43rd minute. So 𝗛𝗏 feints to take the free kick. He will for real this time. Trots up, sends it near the penalty spot where Dyer can't get a flick on. It's helped in from Parcell. Batten far post, and it just comes off Leon Davis in the end. Given straight back to 𝗛𝗏wood. Parcell plays it with the outside of his foot. A good one actually to 𝗛𝗏. He manages to bulldoze his way through. It's now to 𝗛𝗏field, but he's penalised his 𝗛𝗏 for handball. And trying to charge a clearance away. Bounces the ball a couple of times. Left-footed and long, and the referee says that's that for the first half, where for the first time this season, 𝗛𝗏 City will go into an interval all square. Now on the Braintree right from substitute Mason, back to 𝗛𝗏𝗛𝗏𝗛𝗏, who's looked assured on his debut so far, taken some crosses well, and that decent save. In for Jack Sims this afternoon, one over the top now for Blair. He's waiting for the ball to sit out for him. Now Blair trying to get into a shooting position, and it's blocked in the Val City back line. I think it was Batten who got in the way. It's been a autumnal afternoon. 𝗛𝗏's going to take this corner, 8 minutes into the second half. It's near the back post. Dyer with a header down, and just blocked in the end from Leon Davis, who hacks the ball away. He was not particularly well picked up, was Jordan Dyer. Nearly a repeat of last week, as Jordan Thomas as well to win a throw on the City left. But he's got the ball now near the corner of the penalty area, manages to hold off Lamb. Russ has got time to send the cross in. Looks for Wilson. In the end, the keeper comes flying out. Gets there before 𝗛𝗏. It's a Superman-type punch. And the Braintree defence clear towards halfway, where Batten heads it to Smith. Midway inside the Braintree half on the right, plays back to Rains. Now 𝗛𝗏 touches it back kindly for Smith. Now 𝗛𝗏 near the edge of the box to Wilson. This is a great move from City. Wilson, can he make room? No, brilliantly charged down from 𝗛𝗏wood. That's probably the best passing move from Val City this afternoon. And Rains, despite his best efforts, can't keep the ball in play. Russ has got it midway inside his own half. Chips one over the top, but too short for Wilson. It's robbed off him. Thomas shows fancy footwork to play Smith, who Plays a difficult ball to Rains, who made it look very simple, actually. He brought it down beautifully on his instep. Nice Smith on the right-hand side. Again, he's surrounded by orange shirts. He plays it inside. A good ball to Hayfield near the edge of the box. Wilson's peeled off him. Wilson now with a chance. Wilson into the back of the net. Of course it's into the back of the net. Scott Wilson is lethal in front of goal. It was all started really from Joe Rains from the back. It was patient. Smith played it in. It was played in behind for Scott Wilson, who barely even took a look at the goal. He knew where it was. And goalkeeper Blunkel has no chance. Hammered it into the top right-hand corner. Deadlock is broken. Bath City score in a game yet again. In the 62nd minute, it's Braintree 0, Bath City 1. Cracking goal. It was so well worked. Against a team that are difficult to break down. It was just that little reverse ball at the end where Wilson just seized upon it and he blasted it into the top corner. Where was it? Near the 6-yard box. A few pushes in there and it's hooked away from Hayfield. Will Davis had gone down. Another high one, 6-yard box. It's an acrobatic effort and it's just over the bar from Lamb, who'd managed to shrug off the Bath City defence. He couldn't keep it down. And yes, City are going to make that change. So soon after scoring, it's the end of Scott Wilson's afternoon. Thomas heads it forward. It's poor clearance and Watt in trying to get it forward. He's only helped it behind himself. Now Hayfield picks up the ball on the edge of the box. Still Hayfield. Numbers behind him. And wins a free kick. He was sort of sandwiched, I think. He's appended. Hayfield is going to take. He does shoot, bends it just wide. Goalkeeper, I think, had it covered to his left-hand side. Bath City, the goal specialist, on target again today. Cook is pulled over like a rag doll from Tompkins, right under the referee's nose. Clark chips it towards Dyer on the back post, gets a good header across goal. It's not one in the air. It's like Dyer to Smith. Smith shoots and he couldn't get underneath it. He's put it probably around 10 yards over, but there's concern for Dyer, who I think landed heavily in winning that header. He's holding his arm, which isn't a good sign. 10 yards or so from the byline, wheels back and hurls it in towards the near post, where it's headed away from Thomas. So now Clark is trying to dispossess Mason. Ball comes back in from Braintree right, and it's Watt's ball in. Will Davis couldn't get underneath it properly. It was not the easiest ball to deal with, and he's headed it harmlessly off target. Jordan Thomas makes way, and Elliot Freer comes on. This is in the 81st minute. Cook might get there, might stay and play for Cook. He does actually. He's got there before Tompkins. He needs support in the middle. He's got none really at the moment. Cook, wide of the penalty area on the left. Plays it back to Russ, inside to Smith. City trying to pull Braintree around, burn up more energy while they try and search for an equaliser. Rains has time. He does a first time ball. He could have maybe eyed up his options a little bit more. As Critchlow, fancy trickery, gets away from Russ on halfway and chips one over the top for Will Davis, who's got there. Will Davis with a chance. Brilliant tackle from Dyer. Threw his body in the way. He's gone down again. But that prevented a telling shot on goal from Will Davis. It was just a very speedy ball into him. Dyer needs more help. I'm not sure if he'll be able to continue after that. But his courage has kept Bath City's clean sheet intact. It was around 12 yards out, Will Davis, left of goal. Left-footed shot. Had all the sting taken out of it. Carson on the left. To Lamb. City have got plenty of players behind the ball, but Lamb has managed to squeeze in between Russ and Clark near the edge of the penalty area. Now Lamb plays it back to Watt on the edge. Watt with a shot, and it's gone a couple of yards over. Braintree fans are hooping and trying to urge their team to try and muster another opportunity, but at the moment it's Bath City in possession with Russ. Hayfield midway inside the Braintree half. He's got Clark in room on the right. Braintree looking a little bit tired to close him down. Clark will be full of energy, no doubt. Near the edge of the box, left-footed ball is not the best. It's easily volleyed away from Mason, and Will Davis helps it back forward to Blair. He's going to try and turn away from Batten on halfway. And brilliantly read from Russ, who got there before Quantrell, but he's run into trouble, though he's fortunate. It's landed to Cook now, 25 yards out. And he's fouled from Blair, which is a yellow card in my book. And there's a yellow card in referee Josh Croft's books as well. As Watt does throw it in, headed away from Dyer. A warrior for the Romans today, but it's only another throw-in. We got a minute and a half of time added on remaining. Watt takes it quickly. That's a difficult one. Dyer's header away is not the best. Rains helps it further. Now it's Blair. This is a chance for Blair. He's blasted it into the back of the net. 2 weeks running. Aaron Blair has rescued Braintree Town. This time it's for a draw. Last week it was progression in the FA Cup. And in the end, this ammunition, the long throws, Bath City couldn't contend with it. They had a couple of opportunities to get it away. Credit to Blair, it was a good finish from 16 yards. Leathered it into the back of the net. And he celebrates signing for this club permanently with an equalising goal. It's Braintree Town 1, Bath City 1 in the 5th minute of time added on. Parcell with the throw. We played nearly 6 minutes added on, 1-1. Too high for Cook. Volleyed away, and that's the final action of the game. It finishes all square. Braintree Town 1, Bath City 1. Aaron Blair's goal deep into added time clinches a point for the hosts. Scott Wilson had broken the deadlock on 62 minutes with a fine finish of his own into the roof of the net. He made half a yard of space. First time finish, ferocious one into the top corner, giving goalkeeper Josh Blunkell on his first outing for the Iron no chance. And while Braintree threatened most from set pieces, City did stand up to it well, but in the end, the final one, it wasn't fully cleared, and Blair managed to make half a yard of space in the box, and he just absolutely thumped it into the top corner. So much power behind it that Wright had no chance getting a glove in the way, and it means that it finishes as a 1-1 draw. Braintree, their exceptional home form, goes on for another game. Only 3 defeats here in 34 since Angelo Harrop took over. And while they're in the bottom third of the table, I think they'll manage to progress higher. They're a difficult team to play against. There wasn't much between the teams this afternoon, but while Bath City, I thought had the better balance of the play actually as it was going on. They looked more control in possession. They were frustrating Braintree, whose through balls were often snuffed out from the back line. But in the end, it's just one little lapse. I'm having a little bit of a chat about it now over maybe they could have defended it better, but it's not to be. Jerry Gill's 6-year anniversary in charge finishes in a 1-1 draw, and it prevents Bath City going into top spot. Thank you all for tuning in. Shame that Bath City couldn't hold on in the end, but they gave it their all, just wasn't quite enough, and they'll be forced to lick their wounds on the long journey home. Have a good weekend, everyone.